that's what you do.
What brought on this topic before we jump into stuff? Anything in particular?
I was just getting frustrated with people I know now that back in the day they made fun of me for stuff, and they do the same. They're into the stuff I was in that was uncool then, but now it's cool. So yeah, I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon, man. You know.
So my first example, video games.
Yeah, that's what I have.
You would have gotten made fun of so much.
Yeah.
If you spent what people spend. I mean, cool people, football players, and car people play video games all the time.
Yeah.
Grandparents play video games all the time. It's like, do you realize we got beat up for being into Diablo back in the day?
Yeah.
Or Warcraft?
Uh-huh.
And now it's cool.
Yeah.
Everybody plays. I think it was like the proliferation of sports games and also like Halo and Modern Warfare and games where you can just jump in and play and not have to like dedicate the next 30 years of your life
like
to this
short
game.
matches.
Yeah. So, and probably started with like Super Smash Brothers and GoldenEye, James Bond back in the day. But yeah, stuff like that, not nearly as cool as it is today.
I think being online all the time would have been weird back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, that's gross. That's weird. But now people are all on Facebook Messenger, IM, email all day. It's just normal.
Yeah. The problem is 15 years ago doesn't seem that long ago to me. So when you say things like being online all day, I'm like, 2001. I was online all the time back then, still too. But then you're like, yeah, but most people in the world weren't.
Yeah, because
and that's
it was
so weird.
Before smartphones.
Yeah.
So.
And it was hard to do some things back then. Like I wrote down MP3s before iTunes. It was hard to have an MP3 collection on your computer.
Yeah.
Like you had to know stuff about ripping files off of discs. You had to know about how to convert from WAV to MP3 because WAV took up so much so much space.
You had to risk getting viruses on your computer due to
download
Napster
music.
or LimeWire, BearShare.
And then once Napster bailed, you had like all these kind of sketchy sites to go out and download stuff, and you're like, I mean, it's like the kind of Pirate Bay stuff nowadays with BitTorrent and everything like that. Some of that stuff can still be pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
But some people do it, and 15 years ago, to have an MP3 collection of 6,000 or 7,000 songs, like I did at the time, was pretty weird. Yeah. And now it's like, oh yeah, I've got that on my iPad or iPod.
Yeah.
So, or if people even use those anymore.
Yeah.
So
it's all phones, iPhones.
Yeah. I've got another example that's kind of like that: Netflix and Hulu. Now, Hulu wasn't around 15 years ago, but having Netflix and watching TV online, even if it was just YouTube, which I think came out
05?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Not even 15 yet. But I was not an original subscriber to Netflix, but I jumped on that bandwagon in like 2003.
Wow.
And that was pretty weird. Most people would just go to Blockbuster and pick up a movie, and I was getting 3 discs at a time through the mail and binge watching through X-Files.
Wow.
So that was pretty weird.
Yeah, we got Netflix.
And now Netflix is like, you don't have Netflix?
I know.
Or the alternative is, most people still say this to me, is they're like, you still get Netflix discs?
Yeah, that is kind of weird. When are they going to do all streaming?
Hopefully never, because they have so much bigger selection if you actually get discs. That's why I do both.
They should just put it all online.
Well, they can't get the licensing agreements for everything.
I know.
That's why so much of the streaming stuff is crap. Or TV shows, because they can get licensing agreements for that.
Yeah.
But not all. That's why you can't watch Boy Meets World or Home Improvement streaming.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a place in my mind for discs, because there's so much good stuff out there that doesn't come anywhere near Netflix or Hulu ever. So it's worth $8 a month for me.
Yeah.
So.
I'm going to say Star Wars in general. I think people just...
It went through a very dark period.
Yeah, it did. 10 years ago, Well, yeah. 99. That was...
Was that the Phantom Menace?
Yes.
I know 97 was the 20-year reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Special editions.
Yeah, 99 was Phantom Menace.
Mm.
But I know when I would like talk to people in high school, I'd be like, yeah, my favorite movie is Return of the Jedi, or my favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi. Do you know how old that movie is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd get comments like that. Okay, yeah, well, it's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now it's like everybody is into it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's fun. It's Disney now. You know.
I mean, I think that can be said for everything geeky.
Yeah.
It seems like. I would say half of the geek world is now cool and trendy, and there's still the other half that's still like, it's too weird for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so much easier to be into Star Wars or other things like that.
Yeah.
Even World of Warcraft or RPGs and stuff like that. It's easier to be into.
Yeah.
Board games. I think games like Settlers of Catan made board game nights and just board gaming in general so much more interesting for most people.
Yeah.
Where it would have been like, we're going to play Monopoly and it's
Yeah.
going to take up 10 hours
10
of your
hours,
life.
yeah.
Or Risk or something like that. I think board games have had a breakthrough where you have games like Pandemic or Ticket to Ride and stuff like that wives play too. It's really weird.
But
So,
awesome. Do you have any others?
Yeah, podcasting.
Yeah. That is mainly because podcasting is what, like 10 years old?
Yeah, I would say at least that. I think the first podcast might have been 2003 or something like that. But even talk radio's been around for forever.
Yeah.
And it always used to only be something that old guys listened to.
I will say,
Sport talk and stuff like that.
I think the kind of forefather and inventor of podcasting, of the style, would be like Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Like just his
Yeah, it's talk
style.
radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just very comfortable, it's serious and not serious. It's just, laid back.
Yeah, and I think that had it stayed that way, it still would be pretty niche.
Yeah.
Because, you've always had political commentators, Rush Limbaugh and those guys. You've always had sports talk. You've always had car talk kind of channels. You've always had gross out talk like Elliot in the Morning and Howard Stern. But when podcasting became something that had different podcast types for different audiences, then it started to expand. I mean, in the past 2 years even, podcasts like Serial and This American Life and Freakonomics and things like that have expanded the broad audience, or expanded the audience, so that you can listen to a podcast about decorating if that's what you're into.
Yeah.
Or, you can listen to a podcast about very niche board games if that's what you're into.
Yeah.
Or two guys who are not rich yet talking about personal finance.
Yeah.
So I think it is more popular. I think podcasting still has a long way to go because there's still a ton of people that have never even tried it once.
Yeah.
I would say podcasting as a whole probably only commands like 5% of American adults probably still have ever listened to a podcast. But it's not that uncommon, especially for like business owners, to start a podcast or to listen to podcasts and things like that.
Yeah.
So blogging is the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember when my first blog was. I think my first blog might have been using the notes feature on MySpace or something like that.
Yeah. Because I think blogging back then, it wasn't blogging. It was, if you told somebody you did that, oh yeah, I write online. What do you got, an online diary or something?
Yeah.
That's what they would kind of call it.
Yeah.
And it would be like dumb and not cool.
And you'd have your blog roll that linked to all your friends' blogs, and that was pretty much all it was. So I think I started my first one probably in 2005 or something like that.
I did.
Might have been my first blogger account or Blogspot. I think I was using Blogspot
Yeah.
back then.
I did 2008 for me.
I think my first WordPress blog might have been 7.
Mhm.
I know I had, at one point, I had 6 blogs or something, five or 6 blogs, all on WordPress, and it was about the time that my wife became pregnant with our daughter, because I started one about my daughter before she was even born yet. So I know that was about the 2007, 2008 time frame.
Can you still get to them?
I think I have them saved in my Google Drive somewhere, like
Okay.
I exported them.
That'd be funny to like read it and just think about where you were at.
I
while
found
you're-
one, I think it was 2009 or 2010, a blog that I started and ran for like 4 posts or 5 posts where I was going to lose 100 pounds in 52 weeks. And I actually found that the other day. I don't. Hadoken!